I think that the way that you make the perfect cup of coffee is a manual method where you're actually in control of all those facets yourself. You can heat the water on the stove like you would for instant coffee. You can take a filter cone that would fit on top of any coffee mug that you have and put a paper filter in it, scoop your coffee in, and pour your boiling water over the top to let it drip through into your cup. That's the best way to make coffee. Originally, the business was in my garage, actually on Armstrong Mill Road in a duplex. And everything was done by hand and very so basic that it was almost ridiculous now when I look back. After operating for about a year and a half in the garage, we moved into the location that we are currently in I believe it was like March of 1983. And the plant basically opened. So we began roasting coffee for the first time because prior to that we were selling gourmet specialty coffee, which was very unique at the time. You didn't find that in an office coffee service setting. It was always more commercials type coffee, not a high quality coffee. When we first started selling coffee, we obviously had no customers, so we really didn't sell that much. We bought the least that we could buy, which was like maybe 2,000 pounds of coffee. And we actually had to drive and pick up the order and load it in our van. Now our orders that come in today are in the range of maybe 20,000 pounds an order. So certainly a big difference from when we started. I think that the public recognizes it in the terms of Arabican and Robusto beans is the first class, and Arabican is always hand-washed coffee. That's all that we buy, 100% Arabican beans. And then our plant operates in small batches, and that's one of the things that makes us really unique because it really is all about freshness. Quality is important, the quality of the coffee, but then if you don't back that up with freshness, then you've just ruined it anyway. But there's a real art to roasting. So for us, the thing that makes our roasting process a little bit different from like larger companies or a commercial roaster is the fact that they use computer technology to roast, and it's all done internally inside of something. With us, you're literally looking at it, you're touching it, you're watching it, you're smelling it. Your senses are all affected by it, and it is very much an art to do a really good roast. We offer flavored coffee that not all roasters choose to do, but we take it seriously in the way that we do it. So when we flavor coffee, we have the ability to flavor anywhere from 3 pounds up to 50 pounds. So once we choose that, the weight of the coffee that we're going to flavor, then we pour that into a drum that looks like a cement mixer sort of, and you pour your beans in after they're roasted, turn. And as it's turning, it is coating those coffee beans completely. And we probably let it, depending on how much coffee is in that bin, it may turn for 5 to 10 minutes. And then that bean really needs to set overnight before we actually go grinding it or providing it to somebody else to grind, so that the bean is truly absorbing that flavor before you let it hit that wheel of that grinder to break it down. The coffee business has changed so much. If you go back to the 70s, actually, I think it was popular in some ways, sort of in a beatnik sort of way. And in the 80s, it started being recognized. Well, I don't think that you can talk about coffee without mentioning the S word, because Starbucks played a big role in the 90s, and it definitely changed the way people thought about coffee shops, I think, as they opened. Number one, because there were more of them. There were more places to go. And so people were stepping out and going other places. It was always my goal to be welcoming to all ages. And I remember the day that I knew that I had been successful at that. There was an evening that some kids were coming in the door. They were high school kids, and it was probably, around 10 o'clock at night, maybe 9:30. Kids are coming through the door and they're like, "Oh my gosh, my parents are here." And they're going, "We'll be back later," because they knew they would be gone. And I thought, that is what I want. I wanted a place that was comfortable, that was not intimidating for people of any age, that everybody was welcome. And that was the goal then, it's still the goal, and we still have that broad range of customers.